What's up, friends? Welcome back for another episode of House of the Dragon. The premiere was as good as I could have hoped for. Loved every second of it, and so I'm stoked to see what they have in store for us for the rest of the season, because they did an amazing job setting up all the characters and this new aspect of the Game of Thrones world that I'm already hooked on a lot of the story aspects and the different players in the game, and so I am very interested to see who lives, who dies, where people end up. Obviously, Daemon is kind of the main rebellious character at this point after one episode, but with the Game of Thrones property, you know, pretty much everybody is gonna have their time to shine as far as shady business goes, and so hopefully you enjoy watching along with me for this second episode. If you do, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up, helps the video out a lot, and of course, full-length reactions for this show are going to be up on Patreon. The link for that is in the description below, and you can watch along with me for the entire length of the show if you would like. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into episode 2. Yo, we do still get a dope intro. I was gonna mention that once the episode started because I missed it in the first episode. It was just very short. Oh, this makes me so happy, and it's the same soundtrack and everything. Game of Thrones definitely has one of the best intros I've seen for a show, so I'm glad the trend continues. I like this new theme as well, with the blood trails leading the way. I'd assume that means we're gonna get a lot of fighting and a lot of death in this show. This is so cool how they're doing this. I'm assuming these are all different sigils for like different houses and whatnot. Doesn't seem like it's set locations necessarily like the original Game of Thrones intro. Oh man, beautiful stuff. So glad we get another sick intro. Oh, that person is still alive getting eaten. This must be the crab feeder.
So Ryan was a strong Lord Commander of the King's Guard.
What a cut. That sound design was incredible. That tease is enough to freak me out.
King's Guard must soon be restored to its full complement of 7. With the help of the Hand, I've invited a number of fine candidates to court.
4 ships have now been lost.
Oh, I thought he was one of the candidates. I'm like, he's got my vote.
I want to know what is to be done about my ships and my men.
The Crown will compensate you for your ship and crew.
I want to seize the stepstones by force and burn out this crab feeder.
Hey, after what we saw, I'm all on board for that. Seems like a menace.
What reason does the crab feeder have to fear us? The king's own brother has been allowed to seize Dragonstone and fortify it with an army of his gold cloaks. Daemon has squatted there for over half a year, without even a protest from the crown.
Wait, did we jump forward that much? Wow. Unless he's just talking about things that have already been happening.
I've sent envoys to Pentos and Volantis to see if we might find common cause. Ships and men are at the ready. The stepstones will be settled.
You have dragon riders, father.
Hey, he's stepping into the role early, speaking up. Let's go.
Send us.
It isn't that simple, Rhaenyra.
It would be a show of force.
At least the princess has a plan.
I like it. A woman of action. That would definitely send some fear into him.
Why don't you take the princess to see about the new King's Guard posting, Lord Commander?
A fine idea, Your Grace.
This knight will protect you as well. You should choose.
Not too happy about it. I don't blame her. Giving her some responsibility, but he's still too apprehensive about giving her a bigger role.
Sir Desmond Caron, a fine knight, Princess. Step forward, Sir Desmond.
I just realized I think one of the candidates is going to be the dude from last episode who won the match.
Sir Desmond recently brought a would-be poacher to justice. Sir Ryman Mallister, winner of the melee at Cider Hall. 10.
Do any of these knights have combat experience? Beyond capturing poachers.
Asking the right questions. She's definitely made for this.
Sir Criston Cole, son of the steward of the Lord of Blackhaven.
I mean, after what we saw last time, I think he's the perfect candidate. Handled Daemon with no problem.
I fought for a year as a foot soldier against the Dornish incursions. Sir Arlen Dondarrion knighted me after we raised 2 of the watchtowers along the Burnway.
I choose Sir Criston Cole.
Let's not be too hasty.
Nice. Doesn't need to see anything else. I'm with her, honestly.
The volcanic face, closest to the source of their magic and power. And this was the Onogrion, where the blood mages worked their craft.
It is truly wondrous what you've built.
I only pore over the histories and provide the plans. The stonemasons build the structures.
That is incredible. That's the thing in the intro, right? It looks like it. So maybe the intro is kind of symbolic of how the blood and the conflict starting here just spreads out and infects every other place.
7 hills. Tell me, how is Rhaenyra?
Oh, thankfully the conversation's still going. I was worried it was going to take a different direction. Hopefully him dropping and breaking that little dragon doesn't mean they're going to lose some in real life.
I wish she would approach me.
What if you went to her?
I would rather face the Black Dread himself than mine own daughter of 15.
I think she would open herself to you if invited. You do have such an easy way about you, Your Grace.
Hey, I agree. He does seem to be a pretty decent person, at least in comparison to a lot of people in Westeros.
You do not mention our talks to Rhaenyra, do you? I just fear that she wouldn't understand them.
No, Your Grace.
Very interesting moment right there. Curious where that's going to end up.
Already they tried to marry my father off and replace me as heir. I know those men and how they plot in their secret councils when I've been sent away.
Cannot worry at the matters of lords and kings, Rhaenyra.
Amazing shot right there. Love the design of this room. Maybe that's why we cut to here and why she looked awkward before. She has been talking about it.
Your father loves you. He chose you for his heir.
He didn't choose me, he spurned Daemon.
Kneel with me.
Man, the lighting in here is just peak stuff. The candles are so cool, or add such a cool aesthetic.
I find this is a way to be with my mother. I know it sounds foolish.
I don't think it's foolish.
I thought you might try. If not for me, then perhaps for them.
Hey, who knows? Couldn't hurt to try it at least once. I like that at least they've got a friendship, even if they can't necessarily trust anybody else.
What do I say? Whatever you wish. It's only for you and the gods to know.
Oh man, looks to me like she's definitely feeling something. Maybe this is the first time she's really sat and acknowledged her mother being gone.
I want him to see me as more than his little girl.
Mine own father does not know the language of girls either. When I wish to talk with him, I know that I must make the effort.
Thank you.
Hey, she's a good friend. Respect to her. These characters are so awesome, though. I love the pacing of this show. Every scene feels significant.
Might I speak plainly, Your Grace? I fear that the eyes of our enemies are presently fixed on the Red Keep. The Queen has passed. A girl has been named heir to the Iron Throne, the first in its history. The King's brother has claimed the Targaryen seat on Dragonstone without challenge.
I mean, he's making some really good points. Gotta feel like it's open for the taking for a lot of people.
To elude a storm, you can either sail into it or around it, but you must never await its coming.
Do you have a specific course of action to propose?
Join our families. Wed our daughter, Lena.
Ooh, that is a very bold plan. I'm not sure he's gonna be on board. Could almost be a secret grab for power from them. I don't know.
The realm expects you to take a new wife soon or late, Your Grace, to strengthen your line and produce more heirs. You could not ask for a stronger match than Lena.
Great cut back to her. It's exactly what they were talking about in the other scene. The risk of Viserys remarrying and her losing the position.
We haven't spoken much since.
A regret of mine. We should be free to speak our minds to one another.
You can say whatever you'd like. You are the king.
I'm excited for this conversation. Good stuff has got to come out. But every single scene, the lighting is impeccable.
I loved your mother very much.
As did I. Sir Harold provided a fine field of tawny knights. I discovered that Sir Criston was the only man among them with true battle experience.
You'll make a fine knight of the King's Guard.
Love it, supporting her decision. I like how they're also saying so much without necessarily speaking it out.
This is our best chance to save the digit, Your Grace. The maggots will remove the dead flesh and hopefully stop the advance of the rot.
Oh, the ultimate fear factor, man. That'd be so uncomfortable.
I held an audience earlier today with Lord Corlys and Princess Rhaenys. He proposed a marriage.
To whom?
The Lady Lena. to combine the strength of our houses.
Ooh, all those looks make me think they are very against it. Perhaps at the chance of them losing opportunity for power.
A match with their daughter would go a long way towards sealing the breach, and uniting the two great Valyrian houses would certainly signal unity throughout the realm.
The Grand Maester's reasoning is sound.
Man, never mind. They are fully on board. Not sure I'm comfortable with it, though. It could be relating to what Daemon said, everybody trying to weaken him or grasp his power. That is the one they want him to marry? She's just a child. No way he goes along with this.
Do you know where Vhagar is now?
The Dragon Keepers believe she made home somewhere on the coast of the Narrow Sea.
The workers at Spice Town report hearing her song at times. They say it's a sad thing.
Now I really don't want him to agree to this marriage. It wouldn't even be like a husband and wife situation. It'd be more like a father and daughter. Marriage would just be a formality.
I would give you many children of pure Valyrian blood, that we might strengthen the royal line and the realm.
Is that what your father told you to say? What did your mother tell you?
That I wouldn't have to bed you until I turned 14.
Bro, this is wild. Viserys seems reasonable enough that he wouldn't go along with this, or at least would feel uncomfortable.
The small council is urging me to remarry. Seems the realm wants for a new queen.
A good and kind queen will give comfort to your subjects. Does the small council have a particular lady in mind?
Lord Corlys Balarion has offered the hand of his daughter.
A very strong match, Your Grace.
Everyone just saying what they think needs to be said, never speaking their true mind.
I brought you something.
Oh, I wonder if it's the fixed dragon. Nice, it is. Well done. Maybe this means that she could be the means to repairing the house.
Very kind. Come.
The hand, Your Grace.
Man, cut through the tension pretty strong. I'm starting to get the feeling that he may refuse this other marriage and might actually go for her instead.
Rightful heir to the Iron Throne, to announce that he is to take a second wife. Her Grace is with child, and is to have a dragon's egg placed in the babe's cradle. The prince has invited you to his wedding.
I have a feeling he's not gonna attend, but I don't know. Any Targaryen wedding, though, is a recipe for disaster.
Scorio dromon Daemon leitas.
Dromon hidrotso iles, dalilaro belo matzombile, idrepte enkono.
I will go to Dragonstone and drag Daemon back to face justice.
Just mocking him so hard, oh my. Loving the soundtrack. Yo, what an intimidating sight. That is incredible stuff. Finally exploring more of the realm. Holy, that shot is astounding, man. What cinematography. Pulled out all the stops early for this show.
Welcome to Dragonstone, Otto.
Your occupation of this island is at an end. You're to relinquish the dragon's egg, disband your army, banish your whore, and leave Dragonstone by order of His Grace King Viserys.
Where is the king? I don't see him.
I don't think he's agreeing to a single request that he just made.
Sir Crispin, wasn't it?
Sir Criston Cole, my prince.
Ah, yes, apologies. I couldn't recall.
Perhaps my prince recalls when I knocked him off his horse.
Nice, talk that talk. Are we gonna get a rematch between these two?
Lady Missaria is to be my wife.
This is an abomination. With every breath you soil your name, your house, and your brother's reign. And what of you, men of the City Watch? Aiding the prince in his treason?
You've come for the egg. Here it is.
You better not step up there. I feel like he'd slice his head off in a second.
To choose violence here is to declare war.
Wonderful.
Oh, here we go. I'm so ready for this, although it could not end up being a showdown. They could back off. Oh, here we go, man. The full force of power.
Sheathe the steel.
Targaryen strength is in their dragons. Pretty impossible to go up against someone with one. I had a feeling it was gonna be Rhaenyra. What a cool shot, though. Are we already getting a dragon fight in episode 2? This is so dope, and it looks really good too. Rhaenyra giving another point to her claim for the throne.
What are you doing here, Princess?
Preventing bloodshed.
Sir Criston, please escort the princess to safety.
Take care not to startle Syrax, my lords. She's rather protective of me.
Doesn't listen to a word he said. She's not the one who needs protection right now.
Tubi maneri, Nike de Niklas.
Apraziri ziri ema.
Dreptan li dawo, ripots altrzomi mazambilo vule, konir nuhruho sutjailan.
Siculant.
Razilari Tubi.
Interesting, why'd she react like that? Love the sound of that language, though, they were speaking.
If you wish to be restored as heir, you'll need to kill me, so do it, and be done with all this bother.
Oh, let's go. Rhaenyra handled that like a true boss. That was such a good scene. The boldness on her to just say, kill me now or walk away. Don't think you're gonna disrespect her anymore, huh? Definitely the way to gain trust, though, is by showing people in front of them how good you are as a leader. Dude, I can't believe we are getting fantastic Game of Thrones material again. This is such a treat.
You announced that we were to be wed?
On the morrow.
And that I was with child.
Oh, so he hadn't told her. That is kind of messed up. She just thinks she's a pawn now, I bet.
You swore to protect me, Demon.
Dragonstone is quite secure.
Until the king decides to reclaim his ancestral seat. What would they do with the commoner he claims he's taken to wife and made with child?
I like her accent in this. Very different from her usual tone, for sure.
I didn't come into your service wanting gold. The power. I came to you to be liberated.
From what?
Fear.
Some great writing, man. Daemon messed up big time. May not be a wedding after all. To be fair, though, I'm not sure he necessarily cares one way or the other right now.
You disobeyed me. You fled King's Landing without a word, and you acted without the crown's leave. You are my only heir. You could have been killed.
At least he is concerned for her. He's not just all about reprimanding. Better start giving her props, though. She saved the day.
You went to Dragonstone.
And retrieve the egg without bloodshed. A feat I'm not sure Sir Otto could have accomplished alone.
I sometimes forget how alike you both were. Your mother's absence is a wound that will never heal.
Yes, about time he starts opening up to her.
It pleases me to hear you say this, to know that I'm not alone in my grief.
I wish I had known better what to say to you in the aftermath. I struggled to realize that my daughter had so quickly become a woman grown.
This dialogue's great. We are just in episode 2 and all these characters are already so well rounded and layered.
I could never replace your mother. No more than I intend to replace you as heir. But you are my only heir, and our line is vulnerable. I do not wish to make us estranged.
You are the king, and so your first duty is to the realm.
Love it. This is like the only super open conversation between two people, well, besides her and her friend, of course.
Good morrow, my lords. I have decided to take a new wife.
Wait, she's in the room. Is my prediction gonna come true? Gonna pull a 180 on everybody?
I intend to marry the Lady Alicent Hightower before Spring's End.
Bro, and the smile on Otto as well. This was his plan all along. I can't believe he switched up. Dang, bro, that is insane. Everything that Alicent was talking to Rhaenyra about before feels so fake now.
Rhaenyra.
Jeez, I mean, I realized that Alicent was doing a lot of it just to serve her father's wishes, but there was a hint of her enjoying it, I guess?
For centuries, my house had to scratch out an existence from the sea. When I ascended the Driftwood throne, I knew what I wanted. So I went out and seized it. Unlike every other lord of the realm, I can say that I built my house's high seat with the strength of mine own back.
Hey, I mean, credit to him. He's always seemed to me pretty capable. Who's he talking to, though?
I've always thought of you and I as having been made from the same cloth.
Oh no, they're gonna team up. That is the worst news possible.
Did you call me to Driftmark to remind me of my low standing?
You've heard of the troubles in the Stepstones?
Some Mirish prince is feeding Westerosi sailors to the crabs.
Oh, this is so unsettling. This feels like it has such a grand scale, though. I love it.
The crab feeder is backed by powerful entities within the Free Cities who wish to see Westeros weakened. And the king's failures have allowed him to accumulate strength. If those shipping lanes fall, my house will be crippled.
Dude, those guys look so terrifying. Oh my, I'm not sure anybody's ready for him.
Waiting in the Stepstones is a chance for you to prove your worth to any who might yet doubt it. Our worth is not given, it must be made.
Bro, what a finish to that episode. This show is so good so far. I cannot wait for an eventual showdown with them. It looked like Daemon was on board there with his look at the end, but they did not waste any time here. They hit the ground running. We are just straight into the middle of all this conflict, and already a lot of people have showed their hand that they're a bit of two faces, saying one thing, doing another. Obviously, Otto working his stuff behind the scenes, secretly getting Viserys attached to his daughter, and I don't know if Alicent talking to Rhaenyra about her mother being replaced and her maybe not being the heir anymore was genuine in the moment, or if she really was playing her the whole time just to make it seem like she was a friend and everything like that. But I cannot wait to see where this story goes. I am so hooked already. Now, of course, I've mentioned how much I love Game of Thrones. However, I don't know if I was this invested after the first 2 episodes of season 1 of Game of Thrones. I could be wrong. Been a little while now since I first watched the show, first got into it, but these first 2 episodes of House of the Dragon are so dynamite. I can't imagine a better way to start off the show, and it seems like we're just going to get more and more high quality material coming up, specifically with the crab feeder and his whole gang, which they look terrifying. I don't know if there's anyone in comparison in the Game of Thrones world, at least in those 8 seasons, that looked necessarily as creepy or as terrifying as them in those few shots. Obviously, we had the Night King and the White Walkers, which were terrifying, so I guess those haven't been outdone yet by any means, but these obviously are humans, not undead creatures or anything like that, and so I feel like they're going to be some pretty brutal characters to go up against, even if Daemon and Lord Corlys team up, who are both very strong. But I have to give them credit for how they've handled the story and the dialogue, because I feel like one of the biggest strengths for a fantasy world to succeed in media is just to throw as much lore and terminology at you as possible, especially early on, because it is so key for helping you immerse yourself in the world and these characters, even if they're throwing out terms or locations or things like that that may not necessarily make sense or be easily understandable right off the bat. You instantly feel like you've been transported to a different world that has these established rules and kingdoms and houses and everything like that. And so these first 2 episodes here of House of the Dragon, I think, have done a great job of that, and it's really aided in the process of getting attached to these characters and seeing how well layered and how well rounded they are, as I mentioned in the episode, because it feels, the way they've been talking and discussing things, like these characters have been established for such a long time and they have such a rich history, even though we haven't necessarily seen too much yet in just 2 hours. And obviously the scale of everything and the production values help in a big way as well. Everything feels so expansive and large in scope, and give them credit, they certainly haven't been shy at showing things like dragons and everything like that, which in a TV show with whatever budget they've got can obviously be difficult to make all of that look flawless, and I don't think it's possible for everything to 100% of the time look flawless. But so far I've been really impressed, and there hasn't been anything as far as standout issues in that department that have taken me out of it so far. And so I have had a great time with these first 2 episodes. So far, all signs are pointing to this being a great show, and I cannot wait to dive deeper into it as the season continues. So hopefully you enjoyed watching along with me for this 2nd episode. If you did, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up, helps the video out, and of course, full-length reactions are always available on Patreon, link for that in the description below. But until the next episode, look forward to seeing you all later. Peace.